That's pretty much how we get
Okay.
started.
Cool.
So November 2021. So that was still
Yeah,
kind
November
of
15th. It was right after, this whole thing has been started like right after COVID.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's like definitely like in the thick of it.
Yeah. I love Live Oak for that because, we saw a need
Hmm.
and found a solution, and this solution has been working for the last 3 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what is the mission of Channel, and like what is the whole idea around,
Yeah.
What problems were you guys solving?
So, one of the things I noticed, so my background is compliance. And
Okay.
when COVID hit, it was an all hands on deck type of thing at the bank. So I don't think there was one department that wasn't doing something PPP related.
Right.
So even in our compliance team, we were, looking over certain documents and identifying and, small business owners, and if they had all the necessary information that we needed in order to process that.
Mm-hmm.
But we noticed that not all small business owners who thought they were small business owners were small business owners. So meaning you've been baking cakes for years, right? And it's taking care of your family, but it's not a legitimate business. Mm-hmm. And so if you did not have a legitimate business, you couldn't participate in that Paycheck Protection Program, right?
Yep, exactly.
And so that's one of the things that we were able to do was looking at that. That was a need. People were commingling their funds. So you don't really know how much money that you're making, right?
Yep.
You could be making a killing, but if you didn't know, you didn't know. So,
Exactly.
Your personal funds and your business funds, you couldn't go properly get a loan.
Mm-hmm.
How is the loan officer supposed to look at that?
Yeah, exactly.
So, but anyway, we saw a need, and those were the things that we wanted to help small businesses understand, not to commingle those funds, to legitimize their business, provide resources that are equitable and accessible to them,
Mm-hmm.
but to also help them grow and scale their businesses.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So do you focus on a specific type of, is there a specific type of business in scale or size, or
Well, for the most part, I guess ours would be, if I had to say we had a specialty, would be startup.
Mm-hmm.
Startup and small businesses. But of course, Live Oak is the #1 small business bank
Yeah, exactly.
in America by volume. But we love our small businesses. But in this case, in this area, we are focused on minority small businesses. Yeah.
I mean, there's such a need for any type of small business support, in general.
Yeah.
And then, minority and businesses, I'm sure can, absolutely,
They can definitely use the help. I would say to this date, we have had in the last 3 years over 800 people come through our doors.
Amazing. That's so cool.
Yeah,
And you
That's
get
pretty
to meet,
cool.
And you get to meet all of them, huh?
I do.
Yeah.
And I love that because
bet.
as I've been told in my younger years, you're a social butterfly.
Yeah.
Not that I talk too much, but I just love meeting people. I love talking to people and just listening to their stories, kind of like you and your podcast,
I know.
right? So.
Well, it's amazing how much you can learn when you sit down with someone and have a constructive conversation, as
That's
opposed
right.
to the, hey, how are you? How you doing? Oh, everything's good. I'm busy. All that. It's like, now let's get past, the chit chat. Let's have a real conversation.
My son calls that the small talk. He can't stand it.
Yeah.
He's 26. He's like, Ma, I don't like the small talk. Let's talk about something of substance.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So to be, to take advantage of the services for Channel, is there an application process, or how do you get into this,
This wonderful
beautiful
space.
place? Yeah.
Well, there is an intake process, and that involves one, coming in, making an appointment if we're not busy with another client.
Got it.
But you can make an appointment, and that intake process is us sitting down with you. Specifically, my professional business advisor, Atiba Johnson.
Yep.
So sitting down with him, and we're meeting you where you are. So whether you are thriving in your business and you just need marketing help,
Mm-hmm.
or you're not thriving, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just need all the help, all the resources.
Mm-hmm.
And so during that process, he listens. That's our number one commitment. If you can see those right over there.
Listen
There's
first.
5 commitments. It's listen first.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep.
So it's all about listening first and understanding what the needs and strengths are of the business owner.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, I think when we first started out, I had a business owner. She said, Chakema, I love what you guys are doing, but I'm doing well in my business. I have a degree in business management, blah, 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 blah. And I said, okay, so how can we help? She says, I suck at marketing. And I thought, that's great. I knew there was something, somewhere we could do something.
Right.
And so once that takes place, Atiba will typically schedule the second appointment.
Mm-hmm.
And that appointment is to really start digging down, you know, in a little deeper into what those issues may be,
Mm-hmm.
and finding those resources. So during that time, from the time that you do an intake
Yep.
to the time that they come back for their second meeting, we're already providing you some resources and solutions and
Very cool.
brainstorming a little bit. So that brainstorming session can sometimes involve not only myself, but other small business owners that are here
Yep.
in the co-working space, which is good. We want small business owners to be able to come in and talk with other small business owners. Here's the deal. Some small business owners will give you a solution too, but a
Exactly.
lot of people don't think about that. You know, it's like, it's that small business owner that went through a hard time, but they got through it. But how did you get through that?
Yeah.
What did you do to just eliminate this issue? Can you tell me? And once they see our environment and how relaxed we are about things,
Yeah.
how authentic we are,
I love authenticity is
Yes.
so important.
and building that trust. Once they build that trust, they know that they can come and talk to us, and we can help them out.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the collaboration aspect, you
Mm.
know, of knowledge sharing and,
Mhm.
you know, talking to people that have been through, you know, maybe similar situations. And also, I've noticed that it's always so much easier to help solve someone else's problem than
It
it is to
is.
solve your own
Oh
problem.
my gosh, don't even talk about that. Like, I'm a Leo too, so I've always been known as a problem solver.
Yeah.
But years ago I read this, don't laugh at me, I'm all about the universe.
Awesome. Let's talk about that.
But I read this book called The Secret by Rhonda Byrne.
Okay.
And it was amazing because it changed my mindset. And a lot of people, I still recommend this book, Rhonda Byrne, The Secret.
The Secret.
The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. Read the book. So it will change the way you think about things. And so a lot of things that happen to us, it's all because, you know, we're like telling the universe and that it's going to happen to us, right?
Yeah.
We're thinking the negative thoughts instead of the positive thoughts.
Yep.
And so once I got that change into my brain, then things started, you know, happening differently for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I would love to learn more about that because I don't know,
You hear it and it's like, no way.
yeah, no, but it's so true. And as I've gone on my entrepreneurial journey and stuff, you know, I've had the fortune to talk with a lot of experienced business owners and learn from a lot of people who have, you know, done it or failed or
Yeah.
been successful and then failed. And, you know, and one of the takeaways is that, you know, personal development is so important because,
It is.
you know, you as a business owner can be the leader or you could be a constraint in the growth of your business, because if you're not at your best, then, you know, you're basically blocking yourself from
Yeah.
further. So I'm all about, you know, learning other or interesting ways to, you know,
That's
look
what
at
makes the
things.
collaboration so great in here, right?
Yeah.
When you
Yeah.
can sit with another entrepreneur, business owner, or someone else. And like I said, you go through that problem and they're like, hey, this is what I did. And you would be surprised at how many people, when they sit down with us, they go, I didn't even think about that.
Exactly.
And it's like, you guys are amazing. And we're so humble that we're not thinking about how amazing we are,
Yeah.
or how many awards we may win or
Yeah.
have won. It's
Yeah.
just like, okay, thanks though. We appreciate
That's
it.
why we're here.
That's why we're here.
That's so
yeah,
cool.
we just want to help you do the work.
So how does this work? Is there if I wanted to come in for a consultation and then, go through the process, is there do I have to pay for that? How does that work? It's all subsidized by?
It is supported by Live Oak Bank.
Amazing.
This is our way of
cool.
giving back to the community.
That is amazing. I'm definitely living like the small business realm, and and most of the businesses around here are small businesses, and it's supporting small businesses is extremely important.
Yeah.
But when you look at what has come from Live Oak Bank started as a small business, right? Like it had to start somewhere.
Chip's Garage, yeah.
And to where it is now, and what something like that has contributed to our community is truly amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, and this is like that most epic example of a large corporation, giving back to the community.
Yeah, I say this
It's
all the
amazing.
time, and I don't know if there's any other banks out there that are doing it, but I have not seen another true bank that has started a resource center for small business owners to be able to come in and get free resources. By the way, did you know that the membership at Channel is free?
I was going to ask that as well.
Yes.
So I come in, do my consultation, I, go through the process, and then I'm like, hey, I'd like to start working here.
And I would say, see you tomorrow, Chris.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Don't forget your business cards.
That's so cool.
Because you never know who you're going to meet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I mean, a day working at Channel is like a day of networking also. I heard from someone, I don't remember who it was, and it was some chatter in the background. It's like, networking doesn't grow your business. And I was like, what? That's
false.
Not true. Right. You and I both know.
Explain, please.
Yes. But before I could turn around and find out who that was, I couldn't see who had said it.
Yeah.
But networking does grow your business. I have seen it firsthand. Yeah.
My experience is the way that I've been able to build the business is 100% through networking.
Yeah.
I mean, we do marketing with the Business Journal and the Chamber and, other mediums and, do the podcast. But at the end of the day, I mean, out of all of our clients, I could look at probably 95% of them and be like, it's word of mouth referral.
That's right.
Through through the community.
And
so,
I love it because anytime that I'm anywhere in a room, I want to introduce someone else to someone else, right?
Yeah.
Hey, do you know such and such? Oh, by the way, they make cakes, and this person is a wedding event, coordinator.
Yeah.
And it's like, you two should work together.
I love it.
But that's what also happens, and I've seen it firsthand here also at Channel. So when we do our roundtable events, we invite everyone in. Maybe it's a specific topic. But before we do that, we ask everyone to stand up, introduce themselves. If for some reason we forget to do that part, when we're teaching the roundtable topic, there's always a dynamic of, just showing them how it works. And then Atiba may go and say, hey, did you know such and such does this? Because you, her, and her, I'm gonna show y'all how you guys can collaborate together.
Yep.
And before they leave, you see 4 other people exchanging business cards because now he's given an idea to all 4 business owners on how they can collaborate. Yeah. And now they have new partnership, So I love that. Networking does grow businesses.
100%.
Yeah.
And what you guys are doing here is like it's exponential as well, because it's like you help one person that then is able to help, like you said, you get 4 people together, and next thing you know, that's it's not linear. It's a much more accelerated.
Yeah. We've also been able to contract a few small business owners to do some of the work that Channel has needed, some from a marketing perspective. Just because our internal marketing team is so busy with the big bank stuff, they are able to help us this much, but also given an opportunity for another small business in the area. So that we also have office hours for small business owners. So anyone who's getting that one-on-one coaching with Atiba can have access to what we call our office hours grants. And so what that means is that if Chris came in, talked about his business, maybe he doesn't have any marketing, or he is really bad about
his bookkeeping.
His
Chris
bookkeeping.
is terrible at accounting for his business.
No, Chris is not, but if Chris needed bookkeeping help. So for example, like, remember we talked about the commingling of the funds.
Oh yeah.
And there are some people that come in and they'll say, I'm commingling, I already know it, so
Yeah.
I need some help with that.
Yep.
But if they're going through the one-on-one coaching with Atiba, they have access to the office hours, and that's one of the resources that we're able to give them.
Mm-hmm.
So sitting down with a bookkeeper or someone from marketing to
Yeah.
help them, work social media, TikToks. I'm not doing TikToks.
Yeah.
I have a TikTok account, but I'm not doing any TikToks.
Oh my gosh.
They're funny at night when you go to sleep and need something to like clear your brain.
Yeah.
Aside from the meditation, but yeah, so she can help with all of the marketing pieces, and she's phenomenal.
That's amazing.
Yeah, building brands. Something with taxes, you need some help with taxes.
Yep.
You haven't filed in 3 or 4 years and you don't know where to start
It's
or
a
where to
scary
begin.
place. It's a really scary place to be.
But as soon as you get that help,
Yep.
and that weight is lifted off of your shoulders, the business owner can now do what they know best, right?
Exactly.
They were built to do this certain thing. You know, you go to school to learn how to cut hair. They don't teach you how to run the business.
Exactly.
We're going to teach you how to run the business. We're going to teach you how to get loan ready, so that if you want to be able to go into a bank, be bankable, get a loan at some point, that's what we're here to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool. As I'm, hearing all this from you, I'm noticing a lot of similarities and alignment with what we do and what my business is.
Yes.
And I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about channel, but it's really cool to just see that, alignment. So
Yeah.
we got someone walking in. I heard the
Yeah,
doorbell
just
ring.
making sure. Yeah, that's our receptionist. The
That's our-
doorbell is
yeah,
our
that's
receptionist.
Our receptionist. That's
We
awesome.
we put that in to make sure, like, anytime we're in our offices, we're meeting with clients, we want to be able to step out and say, hey,
Yeah.
welcome in. I think that's my old school retail customer service. I'm really big on
It's
customer
coming
service.
back.
Yes.
I swear I walk in everywhere and everybody's like, welcome in. I'm like, what? Is this like the new
I love
thing?
it.
I love it too, but it's like, is this?
It feels new because customer service has been so horrible since COVID, but maybe everyone's rethinking that.
I love it.
I love it because, kindness matters.
Yeah.
And so if I could get everyone to just be a little nicer every day, that would be great.
Yeah, you're like the perfect person for this role. It's like, like you've got the personality, but also I can tell that you just genuinely want to help people.
I genuinely want to help people.
And that's
There's a
really
reason why
special.
I'm here. I know. Okay, I'm going to freak you out a little bit.
All right, let's do it.
All right, here we go. So I'm big on vision boards and all that good
I
stuff.
just did one.
Did you?
Like 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Is that your first one?
It is. Keep going.
Okay, we're going to circle back on that.
Circle
Okay.
back to that. Yeah.
So I'm big on vision boards
Yeah.
and all the things, and I do one every year.
Mm-hmm.
And my husband, like you, had never did a vision board.
Yeah.
So did my vision board. I always do it, and then I put it where I can see it. It's not for like anyone else. So it would never be posted in a living room or anything like that.
Right.
I always take a picture of it, so it's on my phone also. So if I'm feeling some type of way throughout the day, I can look at my vision board and say, this is my why.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I used to work for this bank. I won't tell you where, but it was in Raleigh, and Live Oak stole me from them. So if you've had a conversation with me, you know who this bank is. And so I was in compliance at the time, and Live Oak was looking for a compliance officer.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I had a conversation with them. It had been a good, I think it took me, we started talking in December. I finally started in March.
Of what year?
Of 2019.
Okay.
2018. I came to Wilmington 2019. So
Got it.
December 2018, and then March 2019 I was here.
Got it.
All right. Prior to that, I drove an hour to work and an hour from work.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 hours on the road every day. But I would get home, I would drive from Briar Creek in
Exactly.
Raleigh
Yep.
to Clayton, North Carolina, and I would get home and I go, honey, this is not the business I am supposed to be in. I'm not supposed to be here. We're not supposed to be here. And he would go, where are we supposed to be? And I go, living near the water, eating off the land and helping people.
That's so
and he'd
cool.
go, uh-huh. But it was so funny because I feel like he didn't believe me in what I was saying, but I would just say it all the time. Well, then one day I get this call. Well, I get this LinkedIn message.
So you were recruited.
I was recruited by
Yeah, so
Live
the
Oak.
universe was definitely,
The
you put it out
universe was
there.
definitely listening to me.
Listening to
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah.
So I eventually took the role with Live Oak, and we moved here. And then I had to pack up that vision board and everything.
Living near the water.
Uh-huh.
Helping people. Do you guys have a little farm?
We don't have a little farm or anything, but I eat a lot of fish. So does that count for eating off the land?
I think
Maybe
so.
Vegetables,
It
things like
definitely
that.
does.
Okay.
Definitely does.
Well, what was funny was that upon moving, I was picking up, all the things and hanging everything back up, and I ran across my vision board, and my husband was in the living room, and I looked at it and I was like, ooh, this is gonna be good. And so I took it into the living room and showed it to him, and he was like, I said, don't get creeped out, okay? Don't get creeped out. But so I turned it around, and he looked at it and he was like, oh my God.
It works.
He was like, wow. So on that vision board, it had my start date.
No way.
The same start date that I started.
And when did you do the vision board?
I always do it a year at the beginning of the year.
At the beginning of each year.
Yeah,
Got
so
it.
this was
Nice.
that would have been the end of December.
Unbelievable.
But it had my start date, my salary, and I didn't have, something else was on there. Start date, salary, and it just said new job. That was it.
I love it.
And sure enough, he was like, wow, that's crazy. So now he tells that story to everybody about, like, you got to do a vision board. Like, this lady right here does a vision board. So I do one every year, though.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So mine never has anything like a new car. Most people do, like, I want a new car, I want a new house. I don't do, like, things like that.
Yeah.
Mine is very mindful.
I think we're very similar. We've got a lot in common now.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I did one for the first time.
Yeah.
About a month ago. So it hasn't, there hasn't been much time to let it come to fruition, but, mine was more about experiences, family, and and just like living a good, clean life,
Yep.
and learning.
Yeah.
And learning.
I love that. Love that.
And the podcast is such a great way to learn because I get to sit down with people and have a conversation and learn about stuff. So
I've been told I'm gonna call my twin sister out for a minute.
you're a twin.
I'm an identical twin.
Oh my gosh. Where's she live?
She's in Raleigh.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think we look that much alike, but then when everybody sees pictures, they're like, y'all look alike.
Yeah.
But years and years ago, we were supposed to do a podcast, and she backed out, and it was supposed to be called Bookends and Everything in Between. And it's going to be so cute.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah, I'm still trying to talk her into it.
Well, you got the studio, you got the infrastructure, you got these guys here will be happy to come in.
20 plus years in the Marine Corps. She's like, I've lived my life. I'm tired. I just want to come home and just be comfortable.
Yeah.
So I respect that.
Yeah.
I'll keep working on her, though.
There you go. Definitely.
Look for bookends at some point.
Bookends.
Maybe.
So another cool thing with the vision board, so I'm in like a peer group, and one of the guys in our group told me that every year he does it with his family. It's like the day after New Year's type like little family thing, and he's got little young kids, and it's just like a really cool way and they do it based on like, what do you want kind of like this year?
Yeah.
Like I think my vision board was more like the 5 kind of 10-year type thing, but they do it, and it's like, what do we want to accomplish this year as a family? And I thought that was such a cool like way to like, keep the family vision
I've never heard of anyone
alive.
doing a family
Isn't that
vision
cool?
board.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Yeah. I think that's something when my kids get a little bit older and can actualize it, I think
That'll be
something to
cute.
do.
And they'll take that with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, as they get older. I remember teaching, not teaching, but after I read the book, The Secret.
The Secret.
I'm really not trying to advertise this book, y'all, but y'all have to read it. It's that good. It will change everything. But I remember after I read it, I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta like tell the kids about this. And they took that with them. So I have 4 kids.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, 4 adult kids.
All right, yeah, so what are the ages?
The ages, 34, 33, 30, and 26.
Oh my gosh.
And it's the 3 girls and the 26-year-old is a boy.
Oh my gosh.
Well, a man. 3 ladies and a man.
You look way too young to have a 35-year-old.
Hey, I got 4 grandkids too.
Oh my gosh. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Where does your family live? Or where do your kids
everyone, so all the kids are in Raleigh except for one. One is in closer to Greensboro, Thomasville area. And then grandkids are all in Raleigh. My mom and dad are still in Winston-Salem, and my brother.
Oh my gosh, so you got 4 generations running around.
And then it's me, my twin sister, my younger sister, Nikki, and then my brother,
Oh my
Will.
gosh.
Yeah.
So how'd you get into banking and compliance?
Ooh, this is funny. I used to work for a telecommunications company called SpectraSite Communications.
Okay.
And Steve Clark, I believe, was the CEO. Small company. For some reason, I'm attracted to small companies. I just love the feel of knowing that my CEO or president knows my name.
Yeah.
And so I've worked for small companies, but also some of the larger companies like your Wells Fargo, things like that. But I worked for SpectraSite Communications. He sold the company. He had it for like 3 years. He was known to do this, like start businesses and do other things. Wonderful guy. And when I was doing that, my last position held was an auditor. I started out as a mailroom coordinator, believe it or not.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. No college degree at the time, just nothing but wanting to help be behind the scenes and do good work, right? But then I got promoted from all the good work that I did.
Yeah.
And then he sold the company, and so that meant that everybody had to find jobs. But before he sold it, my small team of 5, we joked about never going to work for a bank. Never say never.
Did all 5 of you go and work for a bank?
4 of the 5 of us went to work for a bank. So it was my first time ever getting laid off. My kids were super small, and I cried every day for 30 days. I got a 30-day severance, and I thought it was the worst thing because I spent 3 long years at that company. And to me, that was like, I gave them my life. I did all this great work. And so, because you never know who's watching you, there was someone watching me and thought that I would be great working for Home Servicing, which was a subsidiary of Wells Fargo. At the time, it was like First Union, then they went to Wachovia, Wells Fargo.
Yep.
And so I said, she said, you'd be great. In my head, honestly, Chris, I was thinking, no, that's a bank. We joked about working a 9 to 5. But I went to work for them anyway, as a contractor for I think 3 years, and then I got hired on permanently.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So that's how I got into banking, saying I would never work for a bank, and then got into banking. And I just started once again. I was in pre-marketing, so that was like working on the foreclosed homes, hiring the real estate brokers to go in, get the houses cleaned out, and reselling, which we call REO properties, real estate owned. That's how I got into real estate and get my real estate license, things like that. I am a licensed real estate broker. I do not practice though.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the little Jane of all trades.
Yeah.
So I did that for a while, for several years. And then I was recruited to another bank where I kind of did a lot of things. So not only helping people, so I went from foreclosing on people's homes to helping people save their homes, which I got to sleep a little bit better at night.
Yeah, exactly.
And I love that. So the short sales, did those, loan modifications, all of that. Retail, what we like to call the white glove touch. So small businesses would call, not small businesses, clients would call in, they wanted to transfer money. Back in the day, you could do that. without like 1,000 questions. Chris, you need $2 million transferred over into your savings. I'll take care of that for you. What else can I do for you?
Yeah.
But now it's like, you got to ask them, I need your name, social security number, your name of your first child, who's going to pay the mortgage if this isn't right, you know,
exactly.
all of that. But I've always enjoyed it. And then I got a tap on the shoulder, and someone asked me I was writing letters back to the CFPB.
Okay. What's CFPB?
Consumer Financial, what is that?
Something Bureau.
Something Bureau. And it was where, you know, clients would write in and make complaints. And so they wrote to the bank, and I would have to, and we would get that, they would write to the CFPB would send it to us, and then we would have to explain like what we did wrong to the client. And I guess I was really good at it, because then they came over and tapped me on the shoulder and said, we think you'd be great in compliance. And I said, okay, let's do it. If you don't know by now, I love a good challenge.
Yeah.
So I said, yeah, let's do it. That's fine.
Yeah.
I went home and told my husband, I was like, I'm going to work in compliance. And he says, what are you going to do? And I said,
what is compliance?
I'm going to write letters telling people what we did wrong to these clients, and I'm going to fix it.
Yeah.
And going to do some privacy and other things in deposits. And he was like, yeah, because you do have a little bit of a deposit background. I said, yeah, I do.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, he worked at the same bank. But we were just friends back then.
Is that where you guys met?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
I didn't like him at first, though.
That's how all good relationships start.
You know. Now, here it is. We're celebrating 11 years in November. November
Awesome.
2nd, yeah.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you.
So from working the mailroom to getting into compliance, like what's the timeline on from there to there? Because it seems pretty quick the way you explain
Oh God, no.
that story.
That was like, I started December 6, 2001. Y'all hear that? I remember that date. Was a day that I got laid off from SpectraSite.
Okay.
So.
And was SpectraSite like one of your first jobs? Or?
No. My first job was McDonald's. 2 all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, and onions on a sesame seed bun.
It used to be like a legit restaurant when I was.
I know.
McDonald's was like a staple of
we didn't get to go often, and you had real beef patties, right? And do you remember the McDLT, like the cold side? Oh my gosh, old school. I know some of you know. I'm dating myself, but there was this big thing called the McDLT, and it was like the burger on cheese and the bun on the hot side, and then the cold side had the lettuce, tomato, and onion. And then once you got it was this big tray, and it had this little covering over it.
Yeah.
Y'all know. Look, TK is laughing.
TK's like, yeah, I definitely remember
and so then you took it out and you put it over, and it was the best thing because your lettuce and tomato was cold, and your meat was nice and hot, and you had this big sandwich.
Yeah.
And now you go to McDonald's and you've got these little small burgers. I typically get, if I still go and get one, it's like a double cheeseburger plain.
Yeah.
Nothing on it, and some fries. I swear that thing can fit in this little hand.
I know.
I'm like, that's not how big a double cheeseburger was. It was huge. Yeah, and the customer service is not good.
Yeah, now you go in and there's a screen that you punch your order into.
I used that for the second time. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just standing over there and I got to do this. I feel like I'm in somebody's movie.
Well, it kind of comes back to what you guys have here is like the customer experience, and when you walk in, there's like a real live body, someone that's happy and smiling to see you. It's like, you know, the experience is, I guess, not an important thing for McDonald's anymore.
Yeah, that's sad though, because like I said, I worked for McDonald's. I think my twin says 13. I'm like, no, I would think we were 14. But that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
But that was my first job, McDonald's.
I think everybody should have to work in like the service.
Oh my God, I said that before too. I think it creates a foundation.
You learn a lot about yourself. You learn a lot about other people, and you learn why you shouldn't be a jerk.
Yes. Yeah. I agree. My first boss was Ron Goolsby. And he was this little short guy, and he was so sweet, but oh my God, if he caught you after a big rush of people coming in and you were just tired, you were like, I'm just going to take a sip of this water real quick behind this little counter. he would come out of nowhere. Honey, you got time to lean? You got time to clean? And we were like, where did you come from? Where are you? But it was true. He taught us so many things about, like, this is the time to recover. This isn't the time to rest, because in 15 minutes, somebody else or the next rush would come in. You know, it was the customer is always right, but the customer wasn't always right. Mm-hmm. These customers were wrong.
They were definitely.
But he taught us to remember, like, hey, they're not always right, but we're going to make sure that we think that they are always right? Yep. We're going to fix the problem. Yep. So when I try to use that scenario with a TV, he's like, no, not from a small business owner. Yeah. He's like, no, they're not always right. You know, and I'm like, it's not that they're always right. It just gives you an opportunity to fix the problem. Yeah. That's all. Yeah. To make them happy.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I don't know how we got onto that. Oh yeah, we were talking about the timeline. So from working in the mailroom to then becoming compliance, there was, it was like a process, but it's all from, you didn't go and get a degree in banking or compliance. Mm-hmm. It was all like learned through experience.
No, my degree is in business management with a focus in management. Okay. And I love that degree because I think I chose that one because it's transferable in so many, fields across the board. I hear people say, well, I have a degree in like marketing, but they're not in their field, and mm-hmm. that was one of the things I didn't want to do. I had to go back to school later mm-hmm. because I, at a young age I had kids, mm-hmm. which clearly you know that now. Yep. But it was all about still checking the box, mm-hmm. And I got distracted a few times along the way, because life happens, right? Yep. But if you are really wanting to do something, then you keep at it. Yeah. And that's what I did. So I kept at it. I finally finished. I checked the box. Mm-hmm. As my friend Susan Jansen would say, check the box.
Check the box.
Well, she would say check the effing box, but we're being professional here. So.
Well, on what's the Tuesday talks or that you do here?
Oh, the Real Talk Tuesday.
The Real Talk Tuesday.
Yeah.
You could drop
those. You can drop those F-bombs on a Real Talk Tuesday. They'll never be recorded, but that's what makes it so real, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And we give that platform to our small business owners for a Real Talk Tuesday. Every other month there's a Real Talk Tuesday.
So tell me more about that. Like, it's like we come together as a group and it's like, let's just talk about what's going on, or is there like a specific topic that we're trying to talk about?
Usually it's a specific topic. Okay. And then sometimes it will, like, we'll cover that topic, but then there may be a question that leads into some more information. Those Real Talk Tuesdays typically last about an hour and a half. Mm-hmm. And again, it's once a month. They are our most attended event. Sometimes I'll look out and there is like, oh my gosh, we've got a house full, and mm-hmm. they love it. Atiba is phenomenal in that aspect. So yeah, he's really good. He'll say, Chakema's the softie, and I'm the one that's going to hold you accountable. And I'll just look at him and go, no, I'm going to be the one to hold them accountable too. I'm just nice and sweet with it, Yeah.
So what are some of the other, like, other than the core operation of, mm-hmm. Helping people, achieve their goals with their business and do it the right way. Mm-hmm. What are some of the other things you guys have? Or you have some events and some other?
So we always want to do a quarterly networking event. Mm-hmm. So, and if this year we tried to tap into the events, like we did a couple here, but we also wanted to tap into everyone else's event, so that we like to call that being a good partner. Totally. So, small business owners still had 2 opportunities here to get to know, all of the small business owners who are coming through our doors, mm-hmm. but to also be able to go to your Wilmington Biz, your chamber events, things like that. Or if there's someone else that's doing a networking event, we definitely wanted them to attend those, mm-hmm. Because you may see some of the channel small business owners, but what about there's another world out there that you need to see, right? So those roundtable events are typically topic related also. Yep. Those are ones that are specific to maybe lending or your small business. It could be HR related, it could be accounting related, tax mm-hmm. related. So we don't like to call them classes, simply because sometimes people think it's a class, I don't have time for that. But if you call it a roundtable, mm-hmm. where they know it's a discussion, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Right? It's better. It's an hour and 30 minutes, so it works. And typically of that hour and 30 minutes, 15 minutes is about some networking time, you know, like we talked about, like, hey, do you know this person? Here's the business card. On the side of this wall over here, there's a business card wall.
Yeah,
So,
I saw that when I was walking over.
Yeah,
That's
we want
cool.
everyone to put their business cards there. You would be surprised at how many people come in and just stare at that wall and they're like plucking cards off. Like, I need this person. So
that's so cool.
Yeah.
I love, a lot of people have gone to like digital cards or no cards, but there's something about just like, just having a tangible like card that you can give somebody.
Listen,
I dig it.
I love a business card. I know that we have to go into the digital world sometimes, and it's good to have both.
Yeah.
But I like to tell people, like, there's going to always be that one person that's not digital, and they need a business card, and you're going to need a business card for that one person, and you're going to want to do business with that person.
Exactly.
Get some business cards. Yeah.
And that's what I mean with the networking events here, like.
Yeah.
Like we talked about, like like you have yours, but then, you know, the greater Wilmington area has, you know, a much broader community, but at the same time, it's not like super big or like overly big where you're like lost in the sea. And that's what's so cool about our like community here is that it's big enough, but it's not like
I thought overly. Wilmington was like huge when I first got here. My first year
coming
here.
From Raleigh?
Yeah, I just, you know, every time I came down here, it was just like, I'm going to the beach and then I go back to Raleigh. Right. I didn't really travel the city until after COVID. Yeah, right after COVID. Because even when I moved down here, it was like, I'm going to work and I'm going to the beach.
Yep.
And that's what I did on the weekends. And let me figure out how many friends I can invite to the city so we can go to the beach.
Yeah.
But after COVID and just really getting involved in the city, it was a different story for me. So, like, I love the beach, but let me go volunteer over here, or let me go do something else. You know? So
I'd say my wife and I went to UNCW, and so when we went to, like you said, it was either like we were either at school or we were at the beach,
right?
Like, because that was more of what we were into. And if we were coming downtown, it was to go to, you know, whatever bar we were going to, right? Like we weren't coming down to walk on the river walk or like, you know, like
I need to stop at a bar and have tequila or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
But like now that and so we moved away after college and lived abroad for a while and then finally came back. But when we moved back here in like 2018, we've rediscovered like downtown and just like coming down on a Saturday or Sunday and just walking around.
Yeah, it's pretty nice down here on the weekends. I love it. I do get down here sometimes. And I love that we were parking in the parking deck because I have a parking pass.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we can still park on Saturdays.
That's gold.
And just,
Yeah,
like all of those festivals and everything. I'm like, just get in. And they will block you. They say only people with parking passes can get in. And I'm like, I have one, so yeah, it works.
Well, that's another really cool thing about Channel is like just the actual location of where you're at. I mean,
the first year I think we were in here, there was a parade that went right by. There's always the Iron Man or something, or somebody's
or the triathlon.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So, you know, if I wanted to pop up in here on a Saturday and sit at the corner window and see everybody, I can. But it's real interesting sitting at the corner watching the river flood sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even when it's just not, it doesn't even have to be a storm at a full high tide.
Yes.
Like Water Street, I guess, is named Water Street for a reason.
That's right. I've never seen anything like it until we were down here, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. Yeah.
I was talking with Christina Haley a couple weeks ago, and I was telling her a story about I was in a kind of like a leadership training, and part of it was at the Hotel Ballas, and part of it was like you go, you shut your phone off, you turn your email off, and like we all stay in the hotel no matter what, if you live in Wilmington or you're coming in from somewhere else. Had to stay. I was like, this is like silly, like, but it was good for like, you know, the introspective portion of the leadership. But I would get up in the morning and I'd like go for a walk or a jog on the river and then like go grab a coffee, and I was like, I feel like I'm a tourist in my own town. And it was so cool to get that perspective.
I love being, and my friends from Florida say that they're like, we're being tourists in our own town because they had not explored everything in Florida, in Orlando from where they were. And so sometimes I think about that and I'm like, I want to go somewhere. And it's like, no.
Yeah.
Let's see where you haven't been in your own city.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? But it's great.
Because it's so easy to get into the routine of like going to the same restaurants or like the same spots. And it's like, man, like, I didn't even realize all this stuff.
You ever get that feeling of like, what do you want to eat, honey? And then it's like, I don't know, we're eating the same things.
I know.
Yeah.
No, we're so stuck in that.
We had a small business owner that came in today. He talked about there's a new restaurant. It's up here. He said it's the hotel with the big H on it. But I was like, the Hilton Embassy Suites. I guess the restaurant might be Bonita.
Okay.
But he says it's an Asian type fusion food with like Cuban and Mexican.
Cool.
I know. So he made me hungry. I'm ready to go find this spot. So every time they mention a dish, I was like, and you ate there today? Today you ate there. Like, I want to make sure it's open.
Yeah.
Because my husband's from Panama, so he loves, authentic, Mexican food or, something like that.
Some Panamanian.
Yeah. We went to ceviche, love ceviche, but
awesome.
It was like, it's inspired by Panamanian food. So he was like, this isn't my mama's rice and peas.
Yeah.
I was like, no, it's
gosh.
inspired by. Yeah.
So have you guys had to like turn anybody down that has come through and just be like, hey, you know what? You're not like, you're not exhibiting the core values that we want, or?
No. So, when we first started out, the focus was minority, small business owners, right? But we believe in being inclusive, of course, right? And while our focus is minority small business owners, we don't turn anyone away. So the only person that was deemed not a minority would be you, Chris, unfortunately.
Yeah,
but
no, I mean, that's the reality.
That's the reality.
Yeah.
But we've had multiple people come in. One gentleman was like, he had a plumbing business years ago. He was like, Chakema, I know I'm not a minority, but could I still come? And I said, absolutely.
That's cool.
His nickname was Pork Chop. I loved it.
That's pretty awesome.
I know. I was like, but he never came back. He was from a different city, and he was just here to do like a plumbing job. And but I felt bad because I really wanted to help him, and he just never showed back up. So
it started really very much focused on minority-owned business owners, and I guess it's kind of expanded to include anybody.
It's just, we don't turn anyone away. So anyone can come in that needs any type of resources. If we can help them, if we don't know, I'm sorry, I'm probably hitting this microphone, and your guys are probably like, Chakema, stop.
You're all good.
But anyone can come in if they need assistance. It is free to join. It's not hurting anyone for them to, come in and use the co-working space or a network or anything like that. If we find that, and we have people that have come, like, I came, I saw, I did a thing, I'm good now, thank you. But they're always welcome back. It's not a end date type of thing. Like, we want to keep you going, and then the hope is that you will continue to come back, utilize the space, and help other small business owners, right? To continue to network and bring them along. Yeah,
and pay it forward a little bit. Yeah,
absolutely. You want to be a mentor, you want to help out, all of those things.
And I think, I generally think people genuinely want to help other people. Yeah. And they want to be able to, someone helped me, got me to a point, now I'd love to be able to give back and help someone else that might be struggling as well. Yeah. There's a lot of power in that.
I love that. I would, I hear people just like you, Chakema, I'd love to hear your story. I remember the first time someone asked me that. Now, Chris, the way I grew up was, you don't tell all your business to everyone. My mom always said, what goes on this house stays in this house, and things like that. So when someone first asked me, you look interesting, you might have a story, what's your story? And I was like, I don't know, what's your story? But then as I, learned a little bit more and understood why people say that, I guess, and also through my meditations and readings and things like that, you know, there are some people who are genuinely interested and not just nosy, because
Yeah.
I truly thought they were just being nosy.
Yeah.
And
Or trying to take advantage, or
or
trying to
something
find
like
some
that,
leverage
right?
point or
And there's
something.
no taking advantage
Yeah.
or leverage point. Like, people really just want to get to know you.
Yeah.
And when you find those people, you can feel that, and you love that, and you talk to them just like we're doing. I know we sit on the same board and
Yeah.
all that good stuff, but you can feel when people are genuine
Yeah.
and not trying to take advantage of you.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I definitely think so.
Yeah.
And I think also it's, part of the, newish culture that we're in is that, like, being vulnerable, being open, being authentic, like, is so much more accepted.
Yes.
And also I think that so many, like for example, like, someone might look at me and be like, "Oh, Chris, like, you've got, a successful business and,
Right.
beautiful family and, all these good things." I'm like, "Well, yeah, but, like,
You have to work for it.
Yeah, but I still got my shit to deal with as well, right?"
All of us do, right?
We all do.
We all have, and I always like to say, I don't like to say it, but I say, hey guys, everyone is probably 2 or 3 paychecks away from being broke, God forbid. Also, like, just because people look like they have it together on the outside doesn't necessarily mean that they don't. And I'm not bragging about this by any means, but I will say this. I may look like I'm happy-go-lucky every day and smiling and saying good morning and how are you, but I'm one of those people who has a dying parent, and it's sad, but I'm still dealing with it. But
Absolutely.
that is just one of those things. And what happens when you have so much on you? People actually break. That's why I say kindness matters. If we just take time to just say hello or just smile, I love the holiday season.
Yeah.
But I hate the holiday season. And let me tell you why.
Okay.
I love Thanksgiving, Christmas. We all spend time together. We donate. We give clothing, money, and everything. But then October and back, no one's doing anything for anyone. They're not smiling. January comes around, everyone's frowning because they spent all their money buying gifts for people they don't even like.
Yeah, and the people don't even use the shit that you buy.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
It is the worst.
Oh my God.
And so they're miserable from January to October, and then the holiday comes back around and everybody's smiling again. I was playing Christmas music in my car this morning.
That's awesome.
Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas. But I do that from time to time because it's a fun song, and I'm just jamming in there,
Yeah.
But then there are times that I'm probably playing some hip hop with some really bad lyrics in it, or that my husband's listening to. I'm like, who taught you? Where did you get this song? That's me trying to play innocent.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
So, but kindness matters.
Does.
If we just take a moment to smile and just ask people, like, are you okay?
Yeah.
I had one lady, I was in drive-through. Where was this at? A Wendy's, getting something to eat for a lunch years ago. And I said, hey, how are you? And she said, I'm good. I had the flu. I still don't feel good. And she just gave me all her business. And I was just still holding my cash, trying to give it to her so I could get my food because I'm on my lunch hour.
Yeah.
That taught me a very valuable lesson, because all I could think of was, well, Kimi, you did it to yourself.
Yeah.
You asked her how she was doing. She told you the truth.
Yeah, she did.
So now I'm very intentional about that. And if we can be intentional about what we say to people, we make this place a little bit better.
And you never know what someone else is going through or dealing with, you know? I just think that, and especially within, entrepreneurship, small business, people that are trying to create, build, do something new, it's so difficult. And yes, this, having an accountant or a marketing or someone to support, but like, what about just someone to just talk to?
So you'd be surprised at how many people still come in and just sit down and talk to us. Yeah.
I love it.
And we don't mind it, We know that we are partly therapists to some degree. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, We're getting towards the end of our time.
You know, we could have gone a few more hours.
I know. I joke all the time. I'm like, one day, I'll be like Joe Rogan and we could just talk for like 4 hours.
Yeah.
And, just let it roll. But
I'm a talker. I'm an extrovert, so that's what happens.
Well, thank you so much for agreeing and taking the time to
You're
do
welcome.
this, and thank you for the service and everything that you guys are doing.
Absolutely.
And I've got to say, I mean, I didn't fully realize the impact that Live Oak Bank has with doing something like this. I mean, it's truly amazing. Like it really is an awesome thing.
It is. I mean, thank you to Live Oak, because again, I don't know of any other bank that would have, stuck their neck out to do something of this
So
caliber.
cool.
But again, 3 years, over 800 people that we've served and have come and utilized our services, and to be able to get that help for free. We're definitely doing our part in the community. So.
Heck yeah. So just in closing, like if people want to try to take advantage, just show up, email you intake form.
Yeah, you can actually come in. We can make an appointment. You can visit us at liveoakchannel.com. You can fill out that little form at the bottom that says contact us. We can also schedule an appointment, and you can call.
Awesome.
Yeah. And don't forget to follow our Facebook page, Instagram, and YouTube, because all of our content is out there.
Good. No TikTok.
No TikToks. I'm not doing any TikToks.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Chakema.
Thank you.
That was really fun.
Thanks. I appreciate you.